back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon, and tonight I've got a book tag video to share with you guys. I kind of thought tonight I'd be sitting down to film a book talk on this book here called They Never Learn by Lane Fargo, but I'm not quite done and I didn't want to rush through it because I'm really enjoying it. So that'll be the next video that goes up. But I still wanted to sit down and film tonight, and you know, tag videos are just that old faithful, that go-to when you're like, I want to sit down and talk to my friends, but I don't know what to say. So here we are. So I just Googled, I did not Google, I searched on YouTube book tag videos looking for one that I hadn't filmed before, and this one is called the Guilty Reader book tag. I just skimmed the questions and I was like, yeah, that's a good one, but I didn't want to read them too much because I didn't want too much time to think about them beforehand. I like to kind of just come up with the answers as we go along. So of course, as always, I will link the video that I saw when I searched it, and the questions and all that, and if you're interested you can answer them yourself either in the comments, or if you have a channel you can film a video too if you like. But no pressure, of course. Anyway, let's just get into the questions. I'm gonna need my glasses here because the font is very small in the screenshot I took. So here we go. All right, question number 1. Have you ever regifted a book you've been given? I don't think so. I don't think so. I would though, if I was given a book and either I knew I wouldn't read it or I've already read it and it's not the book for me, I don't want to keep it in my collection, I would absolutely give it to someone else. Just because that's the beautiful thing about books. Like, you can read them, they're still perfectly good gifts. And I would gladly accept such a gift as well. It's half the reason why I love used bookstores so much. So if someone read a book and they were like, I loved this and I think you will love this, and they gave it to me, I think that'd be great. And I would absolutely do it. I just haven't. Question number 2. Have you ever said you read a book when you haven't? I have. Now this was many moons ago. I was, I think, in grade 10, maybe grade 11 or grade 10. We'll go with grade 11, I think. And there was a new girl that came to our school. And when I tell you, I just thought she was the smartest, prettiest, coolest girl I'd ever met. I mean it. And we hit it off right away. And she read so much and she knew so much about books. And we were one day talking about Margaret Atwood. She told me that she was currently reading Alias Grace. I'll never forget that that was the book, Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood. And she'd asked if I had read it, and I said I did, but luckily there wasn't time to talk about it, and I knew there wasn't going to be time to talk about it because, like, it was in between classes. So I told her that I had read it when I had not, and that day after school I walked myself over to the bookstore in town and purchased that book. I was in luck because they had, I think, 1 copy left of it. And that night I went home and I started reading it. It's large. It took a while, but I got through it. And yeah, so that would have been, goodness, grade 11 would have been 1998. Yeah, so that's the only time I can think of that I've done that. But I mean, you know how it goes when you're a teenager. I thought she was so cool and I wanted her to think I was so cool. Question number 3. Have you ever borrowed a book and not returned it? Not on purpose. Not on purpose. One time we lived in a town, we moved around a lot when I was in high school. And one time we moved and it was rather suddenly. And once we got settled in and we were unpacking things, I found a library book, a school library book, amongst my things, and I was horrified. My mother was horrified, like everybody was horrified. And yeah, didn't mean to, wouldn't do it intentionally. Next up, have you ever read a series out of order? No, I don't think so. I do not think so. Although I currently am in possession of a book. I don't know where it is. But that I ordered not knowing it was the second book or the third book. I think the second book in a series. And I'm going to read it. I don't care that it's book 2. It sounds very interesting. And then we'll see how that goes. If it goes well, I'll go back and read the first one, I guess. But I'm telling you, I ordered this right when everything with COVID started. And obviously I didn't read the descriptions closely enough, but there was nothing that stood out to me that told me it was a sequel. So here we are. I'm gonna read it anyway. Next question. Have you ever spoiled a book for someone? Certainly not intentionally. I feel like on this channel, I can remember when I do the book talks, I'm very hyper aware of letting you know before I get to the spoilers. But back when I first started, I wasn't as aware because I kind of thought, well, it's a book talk. People are going to know that I'm going to talk from beginning to end, but why would they know that? They wouldn't unless I tell them. So I remember once reading a comment, and whoever that was, they said, oh my goodness, I didn't know you were going to tell me the ending. And I was like, oh no. So that's why now I make it very clear when we're going to go from like general book discussion into spoiler territory, because I don't want to spoil any book for anybody. All right. Have you ever dog-eared a book? Yeah. I've dog-eared this book. Currently, I'm bad for it. I have so many beautiful bookmarks that I love, and I use them as often as I can. Sometimes I'll have a bookmark nestled in a book, and I'll still dog-ear the page. Chaos, I know. And I know some people will cringe at that, but I love a good, well-worn, well-loved book. I like dog-earing the pages. I like cracking that spine. I like getting right in there. And I know that's going to be painful for some of you to hear, because I know that people have strong opinions on it. But I'm very careful when I'm borrowing a book from a friend or the library to not do that. I would only ever do that with my own personal books. But I love it. I love getting in there. And I love when I get a book from a used bookstore and the previous owner has really gotten in there. Love that. Have you ever told someone you don't own a book when you do? I don't think so. Have you ever told someone you haven't read a book when you have? That I haven't read a book when I have? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not embarrassed by anything I read, even if it could be deemed embarrassing. I don't care. I love to read. I'll tell you I read it. Have you ever skipped a chapter or a section of a book? No, certainly not a chapter. I've been known to, if something's happening in a book and it's very tedious, I'll just skim the paragraph. That doesn't happen often, but sometimes you just know. You just know nothing's happening in this paragraph, and you just sort of, skim it. But for the most part, no. I read every word. I do not skip. And the final question is, have you ever bad-mouthed a book you actually liked? Not bad-mouthed, no. If I'm talking to someone and they have a very strong opinion about a book, and I have a different opinion, and it's not one that I'm feeling too strongly about, I'll just kind of nod along and agree. Because, a lot of times you're having casual conversation, you're not wanting to fight about a book. But if I hold strong opposite opinions, I'll bring that up. But for the most part, what was the question? Have you ever bad-mouthed a book you actually liked? No. Okay, no. I've never bad-mouthed a book I liked. If someone is talking crap about it, I might not disagree with them, but I don't bad-mouth it. So there you go, you guys. Wasn't the book talk I had hoped to share with you guys today, but it is some bookish content and another way for me to get to sit and chat with you guys. So like I mentioned at the beginning, if you've got any answers to these questions, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Do you dog ear your books? Someone please tell me you do. So I don't feel like such a monster. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you real soon. Bye.